Hello, travelers. Welcome to Reach the World. For over 20 years, Reach the World has used virtual exchange to inspire youth to become curious, confident, and compassionate global citizens. My name is Tim, and I'm glad you're joining us for today's Meet the World live stream event. The Meet the World program builds positive personal connections between students in the US and global cultures, all through direct interactions with real people who are excited to share their countries and cultures with you. For a complete listing of upcoming Meet the World live stream events, you can visit athome.reachtheworld.org. Today, we're traveling to Russia with Fulbright foreign language teaching assistants Alena, Margarita, and Daria. Alena is from Tula, Russia, and she's currently teaching Russian remotely at Rhodes College in Memphis, Tennessee. Margarita is from Moscow, Russia, and she's currently teaching Russian at the University of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia, remotely again. And Daria is from Nizhny Novgorod, Russia, and will be starting soon teaching Russia at Oberlin College in Oberlin, Ohio. I'm so glad they're all here today, and I'm excited for the conversation to come. Together, this great trio is here to share their perspectives on Russian culture and to answer any questions you might have about their home country. But before I turn things over to our special guests, I want to welcome the teachers and students who are watching today's Meet the World live stream event. Please feel free to use the YouTube chat bar to let us know you're here, where you're joining from, and of course, to share any questions you have with our guests as we go. We'll get to as many questions as we can in the next 30 minutes or so. All right, it's time to take a journey to Russia. Alena, Margarita, Daria, welcome to Reach the World.
Okay, hello. Okay, I will start. Just give me one moment. I will share my screen with you. Okay, I hope you can see my screen, right?
Looks great.
Okay, great. Okay, thanks again, team, for your introducing us. And today, my friends and I will tell you a few words about Russian culture, and in particular, what Russians do when it gets warm. So first of all, let me introduce my co-presenters. So this is me, Daria. I'm here, Margarita and Alena. So today they will help me to give you some information about our culture. Before we start, let's have a quick look at the map and see where Russia is. So here it is. There's Russia with the Russian flag on it, and here you are. So depending on where you live, there is either the Atlantic or the Pacific Oceans between us. Let's have a closer view at the map. So here's the central part of Russia, or sometimes we call it the European part of Russia. And here's our cities. Tula, it's Alena's city. Moscow, Margarita's city. And this is Nizhny Novgorod. I'm from this city. As you can see, this part of Russia has a lot of borders with different countries like Kazakhstan, Ukraine, Belarus, Finland, Latvia, Estonia, and Georgia as well, I think. Yeah. So, have a look at the map again and see what borders Russia has with other countries. All right. I believe you can imagine that Russia has sometimes really long and tough winters. And it starts in our region, in the central part of Russia, approximately in November, when the first snow falls down. And it finishes maybe by the mid of April or by the end of April. By the way, this picture is from my city, from Nizhny Novgorod, and this wall is a part of the Kremlin. The Kremlin is a fortress that was built in the past to protect people in case of a war. So we have several Kremlins around Russia, but the most famous one is, of course, in Moscow at the Red Square. I hope you paid attention to the trees, and you can see that even the trees are covered with snow and ice. Well, I can for sure say that we as Russian people do crave for warmer weather, and it comes in spring, in particular in May. So this is again the photo from my city. Well, um, May is a very perfect moment to travel to the countryside, to enjoy warm weather, shiny sun, and of course the possibility to be away from the city. So in May, the government gives us several holidays. We call them the May holidays. They start on the 1st of May, and it's known for the holiday, the Labor Day. I believe you do celebrate it as well, as it is an international holiday. So this is a perfect opportunity to travel to dacha houses. And let me tell you what dacha is. Dacha is a house in the countryside on a piece of land, usually not far from a river or lake. So people grow their vegetables, sometimes flowers, and of course different kinds of trees like cherry tree, apple tree. So it depends on what exactly grows in your region. What else can you find in dacha? You can find a tiny house that we call banya. Banya, it's like you can compare it to a sauna. You can call it Russian sauna. First of all, it's a necessity to have banya on the land because, as a rule, houses in dacha don't have a water system. So there is, as a rule, there is no hot or cold running water. So it's very important to have it. But as well, it's a great chance to relax. And I know that some people even have a hobby to go to banya. As a rule, this hobby is among older generation. So talking about older generation, I would like to tell that there are two types of people who go to dacha. This is the older and younger generation. It's very important because people pursue different reasons why they go to dacha. If we talk about older generation, they go there to work on the land and to repair the house after the winter period. You must understand that our grandparents live in dacha for the whole season. They start in spring and leave dacha in November when the first snow falls down. And then they come back to the city, and then they're waiting for the next season to come back to dacha to start working there. It's somehow a way of life. So as you can see in the pictures, people plant something, dig something, work on something. And of course, our grandparents ask our teenagers to go with them, to help them. So, and teenagers are not fond of this. That's why you can overhear the following conversation. What are you doing this weekend? I'm going to dacha to help my grandparents. And they, oh, I'm sorry, good luck, have fun. So it's a torture for teenagers. But anyway, we go there and help our grandparents to work on the land. Talking about younger generation, young adults go to dacha for several days, maybe for a week, but usually for the weekend. What they do there, if the weather is warm enough, they go to the riverside. They go swimming, maybe having a picnic outside. Of course, we go to banya. And the most enjoyable thing for us is to have barbecue, to cook barbecue outside and to eat outside. We love eating outside, as you can see in this picture. To sum up, I want you to understand that dacha for us is not only a house, it's a combination of a lot of things. First of all, it's the very first opportunity to enjoy nature, to enjoy its perks after winter, the sun, the green trees, flowers that are in bloom. Secondly, our grandparents, our older generation, love it. Yes, the work there is difficult, but this is their way of life. They love to do it. Yes, for some people this is a hobby. For some people it's a torture. But anyway, we all go there. And finally, I believe this is about us as Russian people. We love nature. We love to go to the countryside, just go to a forest to pick up mushrooms, maybe berries, or just to stay in the forest alone and listen to the birds singing. So thank you so much. I hope now you understand what dacha is. If you have any questions about it, please ask me. And I invite Margarita to continue.
Thank you, Dasha. And it's true that dacha is a very important part of our life. So, but I would like to continue talking about traveling, how Russians travel across the country. So, and I'd like to continue talking about trains. So, summer is the time for traveling, and many Russians prefer traveling by trains. Of course, planes are faster and more comfortable, but plane tickets cost more than the train ones. And there are many places in Russia where you can't get by plane. There are no airports, for example. And eventually, railroads in Russia are just more than just a mode of transportation. It is a Russian identity, and that surprises sometimes foreigners. So, Russians have different types of compartments. The first class and the second class, which is called coupe, and the third class, that is called platskart. So Platzkart is the cheapest and the most popular type of compartment. And first that you see on the train are berths, yes, that people lie and sleep on. So why do people sleep on the train? Well, it's because of a distance. So just imagine you board the train on Monday and get off the following Monday, and you are still in Russia. So I'm talking now about Trans-Siberian Railway Road or Trans-Siberian Road that starts in Moscow or St. Petersburg, and it ends in Vladivostok. There are big cities. And you are traveling throughout the whole country. Small towns have short 2-minute stops, and larger cities have longer stops, about 50 or 60 minutes of waiting. And it's a nice chance to learn more about local life or grab souvenirs or coffee and, jump the last door of your living train. So on the platform, you can meet babushkas with homemade food. There is one more chance to try homemade Russian food. Usually travelers buy piroshki, they're like Russian pies. They're stuffed with different things like meat or potatoes or I don't know, berries, anything. So the next one, dumplings or vareniki. In Russian language, they're often stuffed with potatoes or with cheese again. So, and potatoes with pickles. So, well, I don't know what do they put inside of it, but it's really tasty often. Well, let's imagine you are traveling by train for several days and the carriage becomes your house. Yes. And also you have people who share your home with you. So no privacy. You may not even know them, but they will be sleeping, eating, talking, snoring the entire time of your traveling. And before the trip is finished, they will be your family. In the trains, you can meet people from all over the world, especially on the road, on this Trans-Siberian road. These people who are interested in Russia, who love Russia and who want to explore it. For example, in these photos, you can see my friends. They were celebrating the New Year on the Trans-Siberian road. So there was great unforgettable experience with, you see fireworks on the platform, or jokes, games, funny traveling stories. Not often funny, but after all, they're usually funny. So Russian train is, like the space where everything is connected and mixed, smells, sounds, people, and your journey is turning into one small life. And I'd like to mention the train team. So Russians, maybe like drinking tea. Even now I'm sitting and drinking tea. So we drink it always and everywhere to get warm in the winter or to get cool in the summer. We take tea with food and sometimes even with medicine. But the train tea is quite special because of unusual cups, you see, which and these cups are used only on the trains. So it is served in glass and in metal holder with a spoon, and the metal holder is usually decorated. So when the train is in motion, they clink like tiny bells, and many people love trains and they love this thing clinking during their traveling. Well, and you are drinking your 13th glass of tea and discussing fate and eternity with strangers, even though you can't speak Russian, but in the train it's possible. So this is Russian train. And after all, it's all romantic. The chime of cup holders, neighbors' talks, and white endless vastness outside the window. This is the Russian train. And Alena will continue, yes, talking about our travelings.
Yeah, so as Rita has mentioned, there are a lot of places where you can go by train. So, and let me screen share briefly. Yeah, and on the screen you can see a map of all the railways in Russia. So from Moscow, you can go almost anywhere using the train. But the most popular destination among all the Russians in summer, because we are speaking about what we do when it gets warm, is the Black Sea. So yeah, here is the Black Sea on the map. And the train journey from Moscow to the biggest Russian city on the Black Sea, which is called Sochi, will take you approximately 36 hours by train. So more than one day. By plane, it takes just 2 hours and a half, but we remember trains are far more romantic, right? So a lot of Russian families pack their luggages and go by train to explore the beauties of the Black Sea. So according to the statistic of the previous year, more than 7 million Russian families visited the Black Sea resorts last summer, in the summer of 2020. Just imagine this number, 7 million people came there. And even in winter, Sochi is really popular. For example, this winter, more than 300,000 people came to Sochi, which almost doubled the population. So there are just 400,000 people living there, and 300 more came. So yeah, why? Why do people love Sochi so much? So, well, first of all, I want to make a small note. So if you have a look at the map, Sochi is here. So it's not really big. But what we are talking about today is the thing which is called Big Sochi. So it's like an umbrella term covering half of the Russian seaside. So it's called Big Sochi or Большой Sochi in Russian. And of course, we're going to talk about Большой Sochi because it's far more interesting. So, okay, let's discuss why Sochi is so popular among us. Well, the first thing is that maybe you remember the name of Sochi thanks to the Sochi Olympic Games of 2014. So in this point, the whole city and all the cities nearby has changed a lot. First of all, a lot of people came to Sochi to just support their teams. Like 1.5 million people came, including me. I worked as a volunteer there, so you can see my picture in the middle holding the medal, not mine. So yeah, but a lot of people came there. A lot of people from all over the world wanted to support their countries, and that gave a huge impulse to the city, and it developed a lot. So just imagine, the experts say that it will take the city another 52 years to develop to this level without the Olympic Games. So, and we just made it in 2 years because we wanted to show everyone that Sochi is cool. So yeah, that's why the first reason why people go to Sochi, because they want to have a look at the Olympic heritage. So Sochi gained 200 kilometers of railway roads after the Olympic Games, 3 new railway stations, 1 new airport, and a lot of Olympic heritage from the point of view of different sport complexes. So yeah, what you can do in Sochi after the Olympic Games is to have a look at their singing fountains. They're here, or to even have fun watching the Formula One. So now we hold them in Sochi as well, and also a huge theme park with a very nice hotel. This is the hotel was opened. So this theme park is called Sochi. So nothing new here, but yeah, you can have fun there with the whole family, and tickets are not really expensive. So, however, it's not very interesting to have fun outside when it is cold. We know that. So the second reason why people go to Sochi, and I think this is the main reason why we do it, is the climate. So while Russia is experiencing normal winter like that, Sochi winter looks like that. So Sochi was the first city in the world with subtropical climate to hold the Winter Olympic Games. So yeah, that's why normally Sochi has very mild, very cool climate, and very mild, sorry, climate. And when if you want to have a nice long walk in winter and feed the seagulls, and I don't know, just have a great time outside, you go to Sochi in winter, and while the rest of Russia is really frozen, you have fun as I did this year. So all the pictures are taken by me during the winter holidays. And that's why a lot of people go there on the winter break, while in Russia we have very long winter holidays. They are public holidays, almost no one works, from the 31st of December till the 8th of January. So a lot of people go to Sochi this time. And of course, one, again, of the main reasons, the third reason why people go there, for example, you came to Sochi, everything is very nice, very warm, and you're like, okay, I miss snow. Russian soul wants snow. So you can go to the mountains, and there you will see the ski resort. Another very important reason why people go there is the Krasnaya Polyana ski resort. It's really popular in Russia. The new advertisement calls it Russian Courchevel. So, and Krasnaya Polyana has all the characteristics a good ski resort should have. It is big, it looks good, it has good ski tracks, cafes, casinos, and plenty of snow, and it's really expensive. So, and the last, but of course not the least reason why people go there, especially in summer, is of course the Black Sea. So, you know, Russia is a very big country, but the majority of the seas that we have are not warm enough to swim in, even in summer. Of course, there are some Russians who still enjoy swimming in the Baltic Sea or in the White Sea, but the majority of us prefer the warm waters of the Black Sea. So when I was a kid, we used to go there very often, and the temperature of the sea in June is approximately 19 degrees. I thought it was very warm. Later I found out it wasn't. But yeah, and you can sunbathe lie on the beach, swim, have fun, and enjoy the Sochi pebble beaches. So yes, we don't have sand there, we have pebble. Yeah. So to sum it all up, Russia has a lot to offer. The things that we've mentioned are just tiny facts about our huge country with unbelievably rich natural and cultural heritage. So come to Russia, come to visit. We've got plenty of things which are really worth seeing and worth experiencing. And thank you for your attention.
Hey, thank you so much. Wow, I gave you all the very hard task of summarizing Russia. I feel like this has been a wonderful introduction. I have a couple questions to share with you, if that's all right, from some students who are interested. And I'm just going to sort of go in the order of your presentations. Daria, you were talking about some of the neighbors of Russia, some of the countries that border. And when you look at a map where the Pacific Ocean is in the middle of the map, you can see that the United States and Russia are neighbors in some ways, which I think is just kind of a good way to look at it, and makes it all the more worthwhile that we all learn more about each other and do cross-cultural exchanges like you're doing through the Fulbright program and like we're doing now. Alena, do you want to add something?
Yeah, I mean, we're really neighbors because of Alaska. Alaska
Yeah,
is a neighbor. Yeah, so we're neighboring countries.
Exactly. It's a great way to think about it. Daria, I wanted to ask you, you mentioned that that Russians love nature, and I think that is just a thing that connects so many people around the world. You know, nature as a place to escape, as a place to relax and unwind. How long would it take on average, if you lived in a big city, how long would it take for you to get out into the country, as you called it?
All right, it depends, but actually, we all cities are built very close to forest. So, for example, in my city, I can take a car and it will bring me. It depends as well on traffic. So, if we do not count the traffic, it will take me around 40 minutes, maybe 1 hour to get to the countryside. For example, where my grandma used to live.
I have a feeling there's a different answer for everybody here. So Rita, I saw your hand. What's your experience?
I will tell you just, I will add one thing. I live now I live in a block of flats, and actually it will take me 5 minutes to get to the forest.
Wow.
Yes. So I live next to the lake. So lake is like 2 minutes. I can go outside, take a walk, 2 minutes, and I'm at the lake. And when it is summer, I can even walk like in my neighborhood with my bathing suit, because all of them are like this. All people are like this, especially at the weekends. So it depends on where you live, I believe.
Yes, you are so lucky because Moscow, you know, is a huge city with huge traffic jams. And of course, we have big parks inside of the city, but it takes about 2 or sometimes 3 hours or sometimes 4 hours to get out from the city to get to our dacha. So, yeah.
All right, very good. Well, I thought that was fascinating. It's just another example of how different people's experiences within the same very large country, how different they can be. All right, Rita, you were talking about trains, and I love trains, and young kids love trains, and I thought that was just the perfect introduction, especially in the way that the Trans-Siberian Railroad goes across the whole country. Have you done the Trans-Siberian Railroad?
Oh, not yet, not yet. But I'm dreaming about it because, you know, it's a great experience because, yes, I like trains and I like going somewhere and looking out of the window, you know, and you're full of, I don't know, thoughts. And so that is all romantic, yes. And I hope that any day I will do this, but it takes about 7 days. So it's very long. I have to, I don't know, to have holiday. Maybe during summer holidays is the better time to do this, you know, it's real challenge.
I know that the Trans-Siberian Railroad is very famous around the world. It's something that visitors come to do as a way of experiencing Russia and really, getting a sample of lots of different regions. I find it very interesting to learn that it's something Russians do as well, to learn more about their country.
Yeah, that's true. Because my friends, they told me a lot of stories. Like they visited different small and big cities, and they discovered these cities for themselves, and they got acquainted with many foreigners, people from all over the world, really from all over the world, from Brazil, China, the United States, the Europeans. So that is really cool.
Yeah, it sounds like a great experience. All of our students who love trains and are now interested in visiting Russia, put it on your list. You have to try the Trans-Siberian Railroad. Alena, I'm so glad you brought up Sochi, because of course we remember Sochi from the Olympics. It was so beautiful. It was one of the places that was so striking because there were people on the beach, and then for like the next Olympic event, they were up in the mountains and they were skiing on snow. What would you say is one more place in Russia that if we only had one other place that we had to visit? I'm sorry, this is a very difficult question. If we went to Sochi, what's one other place that we could visit to get a really good idea of something important in Russia?
I would, well, I mean, Russia is huge, so there are plenty of places to visit. But okay, I think that the main places you should visit if you come to Russia are St. Petersburg, for sure, because, well, it's not really similar to the rest of Russia, but still it's one of the most beautiful places I've been to. And it used to be a capital of Russia for quite a long time. So it's really fascinating. It's unbelievably beautiful. And well, it's very European and Russian all together. So it has this very interesting blend of everything inside it. So I would highly recommend St. Petersburg for a visit. If we didn't have the topic of Russian being on holidays in summer, I would definitely speak about St. Petersburg because a lot of people go there. And I would say that, well, Moscow is not quite similar to the rest of Russia because it's too big and too rich and too, I don't know, too huge, I would say. But yeah, but Tula is the city from which I come from, is a very good example of the place you should visit if you're in Russia. Small advertisement. So because we are really, really close to Moscow, it's just 2 hours by train, I would say. Again, train traveling. 2 hours by train. We don't have an airport. And we have a lot of things to see here. For example, Leo Tolstoy was born in Tula. So he's a super famous Russian writer, like world famous. And we have gingerbreads, samovars. We have a lot of, and the city has developed during last 5 years a lot. So if you have an opportunity to come to a visit, I would be happy to be your guide.
Thank you. That's a great advertisement. And I know that was a very difficult question, very well handled. I think you all—
I would like to add about
Yes,
traveling.
please.
Yeah, if you want to go to Russia and see as much as possible, maybe it's a good idea to take a cruise. Yes, we have a very famous company with a hot. Once when I was at university, I worked there as on-board guide, and we started in Moscow. Then it took us around 1 week to go through to St. Petersburg, and we made several stops in smaller cities. Including yes, and we went through Ladoga and Onega lakes, so it was really a very interesting experience for foreigners. So I would really recommend you to take a river cruise ship.
Okay, that's a great suggestion too. I feel like we could spend a whole another hour or two talking about Russian literature, Russian rivers, any aspect, any small thing that you mentioned today. But we have just a little bit more time left. I wanted to ask you each one final question. You are Fulbright foreign language teaching assistants this year. Under normal, better circumstances, you would be in the United States, but you're teaching students at different universities in the United States your Russian language. I'm wondering just a couple sentences from each of you. What has that experience been like for you? What has it been like to be a Fulbrighter and to interact with American college students. Daria, do you want to start? We'll sort of go in the order that you presented.
All right. First of all, I haven't started my experience.
Right. I'm sorry. Yes.
Yes,
Right.
but I can say that I have started working with the Fulbright community itself. So I attended a lot of sessions and I met a lot of people from other countries. And actually, even without teaching, it was a very nice experience for me because I made a lot of friends and I learned a lot of things about the Fulbright itself. Including Reach the World. It was a great opportunity for me to take part in this event. So I hope I will enjoy all the perks of being a teacher later on. So,
Excellent. Thank you. Rita?
Yes, I think that that is the great opportunity to take part in this program because, you know, it's some kind of exchange when you not only give something, but you get something back because I share my culture, I share my language. And at the same time, I learn new things about my culture and about American culture. Yes. So, and I like my classes, I like my students. So because they're so interested in Russian literature, in Russian language, and Russian language is really difficult. And when you see that students want to speak Russian, and when they start speaking Russian in 2 or 3 lessons, it's, I don't know, it's amazing.
That's a perfect answer for a teacher who gets their joy from seeing their students embrace a language.
Yeah, that's true.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, yeah, I totally agree with Rita that you are not, I think it's a perfect opportunity to develop as a teacher and as a person because you really learn a lot. And the most fascinating and amazing thing for me was that I learned a lot about my culture, preparing for classes, preparing for different presentation. I learned a lot myself about the language I'm speaking. So because being a speaker of the Russian language, there are some things you never thought about, but because it's your language, but then you just learn a lot really about the language and about our culture. And it's very interesting how like to see it from through the other's eyes. So you get their feedback and you get other people's points of view on what's going on here. So it gives you a huge opportunity to question whether like and to have the different perspective on the things that look familiar to you, to which you got used to since childhood. So you start like, oh, okay, really? Maybe it's like that. So I think it was one, and it is still, thanks God, one of the best experiences in my life. So it's really great. So yeah.
Well, I hope that we can have the opportunity to welcome you to Ohio and Tennessee and Pennsylvania. You may not want to come right now. It's a lot of snow. It's very cold throughout most of the US, but you also may just feel at home. And we hope that you do and you come. Thank you so much for welcoming us into your culture and your home cities today. This has been just a really fantastic conversation. I want to thank our entire live stream audience for going on this journey with us as well. Reach the World will be hosting many more Meet the World live stream events over the coming months, and you're of course all invited to virtually travel the world with us. Please visit athome.reachtheworld.org for more information. And thank you all again. We'll see you next time.
bye bye.
Goodbye.
Bye bye. Thank you.